So in the last class we have started module 2, that is AC circuit, and I told you from module 2 in end term or midterm these questions will come, right? So in the last class we have started series RLC circuit. Okay, for based on that I told you the formula also: impedance triangle, voltage triangle, and power triangle. I told you in the last class, quickly I'm revising, that we'll have three component RLC: resistor, inductor, and capacitor. In the inductor we'll have resistance, that is known as inductive reactance XL, and in the capacitor we'll have XC, and XC formula is 1 over omega C. So these are all the formulas. XL formula is omega L, XC formula is 1 over omega C, impedance formula is Z is equal to root of R square plus XL minus XC ka whole square, right? Now I told you the three types of triangle. One is the impedance triangle. In the impedance triangle we'll take the base as R, and in the perpendicular we'll take XL or XC, and in the impedance hypotenuse we'll take impedance. Then we'll get voltage triangle. This one is the voltage triangle: VR, VL, VC, and V. Then after that we'll have the power. We'll have three different types of power: active power, reactive power, apparent power. Active power formula is VI cos phi, reactive power formula is VI sin phi, apparent power formula is VI. We'll have cos phi, that is power factor. Okay, and these are from your these questions we have done from your paper. Okay, now in today's class we'll discuss about the parallel RLC circuit, and there are much chances in your paper that you will get the question of parallel RLC circuit. Like there is a 90% chance you will get this question. Okay, so for parallel RLC circuit you should know some of the basic concepts. What are those basic concepts? We'll have basically two form. One of the form is rectangular form and another form is the polar form. Okay, rectangular form means if we'll have the impedance in the form of R plus J XL. Suppose we'll have RL. अगर हमारे पास RL load है, then in that case impedance is what? R plus J XL. And if we'll have RC load hai, then in that case impedance formula is R minus JXC. And polar form will have in the form of R angle theta. Okay, so basically what happens in the rectangular form, we can simply do addition and subtraction, and in the polar form we can simply do multiplication and division. For example, let me take one example. Suppose they have given you 4 plus J6 in the form of Z1, and Z2 is 3 plus J4, and they ask you to add Z1 plus Z2. So 4 is the real component, 3 is also the real component. We'll add real component with the real component, that is 4 plus 3 is 7, plus then we'll add imaginary component with the imaginary component. J sign is denoted by the imaginary, and that would be plus J10. Okay, similarly you can do Z1 minus Z2, that is 4 minus 3 is equal to 1, and 6 minus J4 is equal to J2. But if we will say ki ma'am, how can we do Z1 into Z2? So for that we need to convert rectangular form into the polar form for multiplication or for division. Now let me tell you about the polar form. Polar form is again in the form of Z. Suppose they have given you ZX as 2 angle 30 degree and ZY as 4 angle 60 degree, and they ask you to multiply ZX multiplied by ZY. So how will you do? Real term is multiplied with the real term, that is 2 into 4, 8. and angle would be added with each other in case of multiplication. So 30 plus 60 is 90 degree. Similarly, if I'll say ki divide these two components, so 2 divided by 4 is how much? 1 by 2, and in this case angle would be subtracted with each other. That would be that 30, and this one is angle 60, so it would be 1 by 2, angle is 30 minus 60. So 30 minus 60 is how much? That would be minus 30 degree. Okay, so after division we'll get this form, and after multiplication we'll get this form. Now if we'll say ki ma'am, what would be the value for zx4 plus zy, then in that case you need to convert this into the rectangular form, because addition and subtraction can be happen in rectangular form, and multiplication and division can be happened in polar form. Okay, understood up to here? Now the question arises that how we'll get the form in the rectangular or polar form? How do we know? Like suppose they will give you the question like this. Okay, this is a simple parallel circuit based question. Here R and L are in series. Let us consider this one would be Z1. R and C in series, let us consider this one would be Z2. They have given us the value also. Suppose this is 8 ohm and this is J10 ohm. Suppose this is 6 ohm and this is minus J4 ohm. So how we can write down? Z1 is equal to 8 and 10. As I told you earlier, RL कि अगर RL का लोड है, then in that case Z formula is R plus JXL. And what is R over here? 8. And what is XL over here? J10. So 8 plus J10 is your Z1 value. Similarly, tell me what would be the value for Z2 in this case? After this, what we need to know that how can we convert rectangular form to the polar form and polar form to the rectangular form. For that, you need to take out your calculator. Okay, whether it would be FX991 MS, ES or EX. थोड़ा सा ही difference है इनमें. Take out your calculator with you. Okay, now let's study about first how can we convert it into rectangular form to the polar form. Okay, like suppose this is your calculator. This is FX991 ES. Okay, so as you can see that above the plus sign, you can see they have written pole over there, and above the minus sign they have written rec over there. Rec stands for rectangular and pole stands for polar. Okay, and whatever the yellow terms are given, how we can get it in this calculator? By pressing the shift button. Like if we want any yellow term should be on the display, then in that case we will press the shift button. Shift is here. Now next thing, in whichever form we want to convert, like in this case we want to convert it into polar form, so pole must be written in the calculator. Okay, so started, press on. Right, we need pole button over here, so for that we need to press shift. Right, after pressing shift, what we need to do? We need to press plus sign. Press this plus sign. After pressing plus sign, you will get the pole display in your calculator like this. Right, now suppose we want to convert 2 plus J3. It's in the rectangular form and we want to convert it into polar form. So for that pole, what we'll write down? 2, 3. 2 is here and comma, again you will get it by pressing the shift button. Right? So 2, 3 and then bracket close. Do it in your calculator, and then after this press equal to. You will get 3.60, and theta they have written. Theta is how much? 56.30. Next we'll learn about the polar to rectangular. Okay, so suppose I'm taking this value only, this is in the polar form, and we want to convert it into rectangular form, right? Ideally it should be 2 plus J3 only now. So for polar to rectangular conversion, as I told you, in the calculator, in the display, you must have rec form, correct? So how will you get the rec form? Press on, press shift, then press minus. You will get rec form. Now which term we want to convert it into rectangular form? That is 3.60 comma 56.3, and then bracket close. Do it and tell me what you are getting. 3.60, again shift, then comma, and then 56.30 bracket close. Yeah, 1.99 is exactly equal to 2 and 2.99 is exactly equal to 3. So that means your calculator is correct. कई बार ठीक नहीं आता, तो किसी किसी बच्चे का ठीक नहीं आता, मैच नहीं करता, तो that means there is an error in the calculator. So for that you need to reset your calculator. This is from your PYQ paper only, like they have given you. Capacitor is connected in parallel with the resistor and the inductor, and the voltage supply they have given as 200 volt, comma 50 hertz is the frequency. This is 20 ohm, this is 5 ohm, this is 0.1 Henry, and this is 150 microfarad. They ask you to calculate the current I and the voltage across parallel branch. Okay, voltage across parallel branch. So see how we can do this kind of question. This is from 2019 ENDSEM paper, 2019. So see, I'll tell you this question. We need to calculate current. Current formula is according to Ohm's law, that is V by Z, correct? Voltage we know already, that is 200. So if no angle or nothing is given, we can consider angle as 0, right? For Z, Z is the total impedance. Let us consider this one would be the Z1. Let us consider this one would be the Z2, and let us consider this one would be the Z3. Okay, so as you know, if we want to calculate total impedance, let us denote it by ZT. So we can say that ZT is how much? As you can see that Z1 and Z2 are connected in parallel. So Z1 parallel Z2, and if I'll combine it, then that would be in the series combination of Z3, correct? अगर मान लो यहाँ पे resistor होता, and if we need to solve the complete total resistance, so what we'll do, R1 and R2 are in parallel, then we'll combine it. It is in the combination of in series with the R3, correct? So Z1 parallel Z2, how we can solve it? That is Z1 into Z2 divided by Z1 plus Z2, then plus Z3 is equal to ZT. Now tell me any doubt up to here? We need to get the value for Z2 and Z3. So Z1 is how much? If I'll write it in form of rectangular, that is R plus JX. So in this, resistance is only given, no inductance, no capacitance, so we can consider only 20 plus J0. Can I write it like this? Similarly, Z2. Z2 is in the form of R plus JXL. R is 5 ohm plus JXL. XL, as I told you the formula, that is 2 pi FL. This is L given, not XL. बहुत सारे बच्चे यहाँ पे गलती कर देते हैं. How will you get to know? By unit. If they have given you 0.1 ohm, तो ये XL होता. But they have given you 0.1 Henry, that means they have given you L, not XL. But in the form, according to the formula, we need to get XL, right? So as you already know the formula for XL, that is 2 pi FL. 2 we know, pi we know, frequency they have given 50, and L they have given 0.1. Maybe they'll give you in the form of millihenry, then in that case you need to convert it into standard unit. Plus 5 is equal to Z2. So after solving, can you get the value for Z2? Now similarly, you need to get the value for Z3. What is Z3? In this, no resistance is there. So can we write it down as 0 minus JXC? Because R minus JXC. R is not there, 0. So XC again we need to calculate. And what is the formula for XC? 1 by 2 pi FC. 2 given, pi given, F given, and C is given. 150 microfarad. 150 microfarad means 150 into 10 raised to power minus 6. Clear? Note it down up to here. See, after solving, you will get Z2 as 5 plus J3 1.4 and Z3 as 0 minus J21.22. Now we need to substitute the value. Z1 is 20, right? Angle 0, multiplication. For multiplication, we need to convert this rectangular form into the polar form. Convert it. Again, Z1 is 20 plus Z2 is how much? This for plus we need rectangular form, so we can directly write on 5 plus J 31.4. Okay. Then plus Z3. Z3 is how much? 0 minus J 21.22. So convert this into polar form. Tell me the value. Now how we can solve it further? This would be like ZT would be equal to 20 into 31.7, because as I told you, we'll multiply real term with the real term. That would be how much? 634, right? And angle would be added. 0 plus 80.9 is how much? 80.9 only. Divided by rectangular wali, so 20 plus 5 is how much? 25. J term as it is 31.4. रियल को रियल से डिवाइड प्लस करना है और एंगुलर को या इमेजिनरी को इमेजिनरी से. Then after that plus 0 minus J 21.22, right? Again, as you can see, we need to divide it. For division, we need which form? Rectangular form or polar form? Polar form. Again, we need to convert this 25 plus J 31.4 in the polar form. Now, as you can see, we'll get after conversion this value. Now we can do easily. Real term is divided with the real term, means 634 divided by 40.1, and angle would be subtracted. Angle would be 80.9 minus 51.44, right? Then minus J 21.22. Then again you need to subtract. तो फिर से क्या करना पड़ेगा? पोलर को रेक्टेंगुलर में you need to convert, and then after solving, एक बार solve करके देख लेना. After solving you will get the ZT value as, अगर मैं पोलर में लिखूं तो 19.25 minus 44.22, and if I write it in rectangular form, then that would be say 13.79 minus J 13.42. Okay. Now in this case, what we need to calculate? They ask you to calculate current. So according to Ohm's law, I is equal to V by Z. V is how much? 200 angle 0. Z we have already calculated. That is 19.25. Angle is minus 44.22. So we can easily solve it. And after solving, we'll get it as 10.39 angle 44.22 or 7.45 plus J 7.25. Understood?